Well, again, we continue to follow that breaking news out of Iowa tonight, where again 1,700 precincts around the state, and only 62% of those precincts are now reporting those results from last night.
That's right. We're hearing now from the Democratic Party there. We're told that there was a technical issue again with that new app, and that impacted the timely collection and also the reporting from those caucus sites around the state.
Now, that problem Democrats are referring to as a coding issue, as you can imagine, is frustrating caucus workers as well as the presidential campaigns and, of course, the candidates themselves.
Although some of the Democratic candidates, including Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg, gave victory-like speeches before they left Iowa, and then they headed east to New Hampshire.
And this morning he spoke to supporters in New Hampshire after last night's conversation with the candidates.
Now, the hope that propelled me into this campaign is vindicated every day. It was vindicated in a big way last night when we had a chance to quiet those questions of whether we belonged in this effort in the first place.
That was Pete Buttigieg declaring victory there last night. Now, we've got team coverage for you tonight as well. Our own Mary Milz takes a close look at the importance of these caucuses.
But first, let's check in with our Alan Carter. He has been covering Pete Buttigieg's campaign since he arrived in Iowa over the weekend. Alan.
Well, as an outsider, witnessing the caucuses in Iowa was interesting, to say the least. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it.
And bring it to their table.
It was frantic and a different way of civic participation, where people vote out in the open and declare their support for a candidate. There was counting and recounting.
139 and Dick is 140. Okay. All right.
With people switching sides in the middle of it.
Be cool! Get over here!
Who were you with the first time?
Yang.
Okay, where are you going now?
Pete.
It was fun. And maybe all of that is the problem Iowa is looking at today. Because numbers were drastically delayed, candidates leaving the state for the next primary without any clear picture of what happened last night. Democratic officials are calling it a technology issue and are taking offense to anyone calling the system a failure and embarrassment.
I think we can label this an issue with, working out the kinks of using technology to report, but the actual running of the caucus in every precinct was run the exact same way that it should have been run, and that it has kind of always been run.
Well, I can tell you Iowans are not keen on the idea of moving away from their caucuses, as there are calls now to do a more traditional primary. There are 2 more states in the U.S. that do hold caucuses, including Nevada, later this month. Reporting in Iowa, Alan Carter, Channel 13, Eyewitness News.
I'm Mary Milz. The Iowa caucus is taking a big hit on Twitter and elsewhere. As an Iowa friend texted me last night, "This is crazy, still crazy, very embarrassing. I worked in Des Moines for 10 years. I get it. I covered the caucuses and many campaign stops leading up to them.
And at this precinct, the efforts paid off.
I also returned to Iowa 3 times to cover the caucuses for WTHR, the last time in 2016. What I know is that most Iowans are proud of their first-in-nation status. They get to meet the candidates up close and personally, and they take that seriously. What happened last night was a first, and it was a huge gut punch. Many now wonder, are the caucuses doomed? Not just because of the results debacle, but the process itself. The way you have to show up at a set time at a set place and listen to people pitch their candidates. It's time-consuming and limits who can attend. Changing to a primary would be easier, allow many more people to take part, but Iowans are unlikely to let go without a fight. Why? Because in the months leading up to the caucuses, candidates are crisscrossing the state, stopping in cafes, holding town halls. It's retail politics at its best. In fact, the state's Republican governor and 2 U.S. senators all defended the caucuses, saying they, quote, empower Americans, not Washington insiders or powerful billionaires, to choose a nominee.
And you know, Andrea, the caucuses put Iowa in the national spotlight every 4 years. It's good publicity, brings in a lot of money, and it's also just tradition. They want to keep it.
Oh, speaking of traditions, what if they decided to do something totally different and maybe become part of the primary process like New Hampshire?
Well, they could, but if they wanted to be first, that would be a big problem because New Hampshire actually has it in state law that they will always hold the first primary.
Wow.
So I think there'd be a lot of pushback there.
A lot of legal wrangling to go on. All right, we'll have to see how it all shakes out. Mary, thanks.
All right, those results are coming in from Iowa, and still partial results, too early to call. But right now, Pete Buttigieg, the former mayor from South Bend, is slimly ahead of Bernie Sanders by about 1 percentage point. Now, again, that's with only 62% of the results coming in now from Iowa. We'll keep an eye on it and bring you more information as it comes in. In the meantime, as we said earlier, the candidates then moved east. They're now in New Hampshire. That's where a debate is set for Friday. That vote in the first primary will be next week on Tuesday. Then it's off west to the Nevada caucuses and the primary in South Carolina. Super Tuesday then is set for March 3rd.